0-degree wings hit the iron of the chest. Calibration starts now, put the hardware to the test. Ribs are the rafters, the geometry is tight. Built on the granite in the middle of the night. Frost is the architect, the cortex is the grid. Decrypting the marrow where the prime data hid. Vertebrae stacked like the stones of the wall. Zero latency impact when the heavy axes fall. Ice on the membrane, the system is prime. Killing frost clocks the rotation of time. Sternum is armor, the angles are raw. Hard-coded flesh to the ultimate law. Ice, cold, iron bone. Iron bone, granite nerve, frozen throne. Ice, cold, iron bone. Iron bone, granite nerve, frozen throne. Tendons are cables of braided white wire. Cold is the engine, we don't need the fire. Ligaments locking the piston in place. Scanning the geometry of every frozen face. Shoulder blades grinding like shifting tectonics. Muscle fiber moving to the rhythm of electronics. No ghost in the machine, only calcium and cold. Execution of the logic that the ancient ravens hold. Blood is a coolant, the veins are the tubes. Life is a sequence of crystalline cubes. These are the hinges on a heavy iron gate. Processing the pressure of the atmospheric wave. Cracking glaciers in the hollow of the skull. System is functional, the heart is never null. 0-degree winds in the cave of the mouth. The compass is broken, we never look south. Architecture born from the freezing of the cell. Logic of the winter is the only way to tell. Bone in the asphalt, iron in the mud. The code of the Arctic is written in the blood. Synapses firing like a flint on the steel. Arteries of pain is the only thing real. Fingers are lepers, the grippers, the vice. Forging the anatomy on altars of ice. Teeth are the gears in the clench of the jaw. Processing the terror with a surgical claw. Nerves of the surface, the mapping is clear. Delete every program connected to fear. Skull is the server, the memory is stored. Frozen breath, the iron, the swing of the sword. Hip joints rotating on a ball bearing track. Once the ice hardens, there is no turning back. Connect the tendon. Calibrate the nerve. Align the geometry. Protect the curve. The marrow is the storage. The frost is the command. We are the hardware built by his hand. The frost is the master. The frost is the master. Cracking glaciers in the hollow of the skull. System is functional, the heart is never null. 0-degree winds in the cave of the mouth. The compass is broken, we never look south. Architecture born from the freezing of the cell. Logic of the winter is the only way to tell. Bone in the asphalt, iron in the mud. The code of the Arctic is written in the blood. Final calibration at the edge of the fjord. Every single atom in the system is restored. Metals in the skeleton, minerals in the sight. Shutting down the vision in the middle of the white. No warmth in the center, no light in the core. Only the perfection of the everlasting war. Anatomy is finished, the builder is gone. Wait for the reboot at the foes in digital dawn. Granite cliffs witness the cycle is complete. Human software filling the ice does not retreat. System offline. Hard-coded.
Strip the lipid, strip the waste. Iron, calcium, bitter taste. Calcium lattice, locked in place. 0 fat on the sunken face. Sunken cheeks and the eyes of glass. Watch the seconds of the timer pass. Chewed leather straps on the severed arm. Disconnect the logic of the war. Hollow ribs like a cage of white heart. Coded to the dead of night. Marrow is the only fuel I keep. While the soft flesh starts to sleep. Cut the balance, cut the weight. Optimizing geometry of the thoracic frame. Data burning in a frozen flame.
Calibrate the bone, isolate the stone, terminate
The meat,
no retreat.
no retreat. Whiteout blizzards blind the grid, kill the mercy that the body hid. Tendon tension at the max limit, every breath is a binary unit. Shield wall logic in the central node, run the program of the killing code. Fingers on the hilt of carving steel, nerves are cables in a longer field. Hematoma under frozen skin where the heavy metal enters in. Ready as an owner, lock and slide, nowhere left for the weak to hide. Axe is the hardware, fist is the tool, starvation is the only working rule. Metric of the hunger in the skull, system empty but the void is full.
Feast on the calcium, break the frame.
Only the weapon knows the name.
Scaling the data through the snow.
Where the organic cannot go.
Sunken cheeks and the iron will.
Calculated to the vital count.
Starvation metric, crush the soft.
Hold the glacial vendor aloft. Jaw hinge grinding on the frozen grit. This is the end of the flesh of it. Sub-zero tenth in the artery vein. Disconnect the mapping of the pain. Vertebrae stacked in a militant line. Carbon fragment in the human spine. Pulse is a ping on a broken screen. Nothing left that isn't sharp and lean. Script the marrow from the fractured hip. Off the useless memories drip. No more hunger, just the need to strike. Everything in the dark is a light. Calibration of the killing art. Teeth are shards in the frozen dark. Dial the ink for the runic script. Reality is fully stripped. Connect the nerve to the iron plate. I am the master of the zero state. No soft organ, no beating heart. Just the sum of the deadly parts. Skeleton rising from the slush. Everything that is weak we brush. Everything that is warm is dead. Only the logic in the head.
Feast on the calcium, break the frame.
Only the weapon knows the name.
Scaling the data through the snow.
Where the organic cannot go.
Sunken cheeks and the iron will.
Calculated to the final kill.
Starvation metric, crush the soft.
Hold the glacial banner aloft. Metric 0, metric 1. Flesh is over, war is begun. Metric 0, metric 1. Flesh is over, war is begun. Hollowed ribs in the white outlined. Leave the human waste behind.
Dead embers hiss in the circle of stone. Calibration begins in the marrow and bone. Light level 0, the dawn is a ghost. System is scanning the northernmost coast. My ribs are a chassis of hard and steel grate. Calculating the physics of incoming fate. No heat signature left in the ground. Silence is the only valid sound. Lockjaw, held tight, staying still through the frozen night. Stay still, hardware, crushing the Arctic wind. Crush it, the battle of will has only begun. Geometry fixed in the primitive frame. The data of war has no other name. Frostbitten fingers grip hard on the haft. Scanning the vector, the wind and the draft. Tendons a cable stretched to the limit. I measure the void and the ice that is in it. My spinal column is a data stream spire. Locked in the loop of the ancestral fire nerve. Any firing in binary code. The story of iron is all that is told. Stay still, stay still, stay still now. No heat, no fire, we know how. Stay still, stay still, stay still now. The geometry of death is a vow. Resinga like boots in the permafrost, counting the second of everything lost. Oxygen input is calibrated low, watching the data all falling white snow. Synapses frozen, the logic is tight. Sheer wall algorithm winning the fight. Matrix of tendons refusing to break, ignoring the shiver and physical shake. Ash in the wind is the final report, holding the walls of this biological fort. Physics of flesh in the valley of ice, giving the void nothing but a sacrifice. Blood in the channels is trending the slush, feeling the weight of the absolute hush. Skull is a helmet of calcified data. I am the operator in the crater. The axe is a hard drive I can check command. Staking my claim in these ruined lands. Nose are a network of full-thick wire. I am the engine and needs no more fire. Lockjaw, held tight, staying still through the frozen night. Stay still. Hardware, crushing the Arctic wind. Crush it. The battle of will has only begun. Geometry fixed in a primitive frame. The data of war has no other name. Circuit on its physical plane, mapping the structure of unending pain. No more abstracts, no love and no fear. Only the marrow is functional here. Coding the muscle, refusing to fail. Facing the heart of the northernmost gale. Stillness is radical, stillness is pure. Only the iron and ice will endure.
Scan the damage. Read the system failure. Input the agony. Output the iron. Sealed meat sternum, the edges defined. Broken rib geometry perfectly aligned. Mapping the fracture, a binary trace. Bone shards and data all over the place. I count every notch on the humerus shaft. Death is a logical warrior's craft. Shattered clavicle, snapping the wire. Converting the trauma to architect fire. My radius is cracked like a breach servo wall. I record the impact, I measure the fall. Phalanx in rubble, the knuckle is gone. Hardwire the torment and carry it on.
This is not pain.
This is the core.
Recalibrate flush
To thunder and blind.
counting scars.
As a geometry map.
Screening the jaw.
Of the wolf in the trap.
Every wound
Is a hardware update.
armor
It's forged
from a bloody estate.
Pouring black blood on the frozen subfloor. Leaking the lubricant out of the core. Pressure is dropping in the femoral line. Seal off the valves for a sturdier design. Torn sign stretched like a cable in strain. I calculate load from the signal of pain. On our nerve is fire. A glitch in the grid. Bury the malfunction the way that they did. My scapula grinds like a rusted out gear. I strip out the PDI, format the fear. Vertebrae stacked in a vertical tier. The tactical blueprint is becoming clear.
This is not pain.
This is the core.
Recalibrate flesh
To thunder and blind.
counting scars.
As a geometry map.
Bringing the jaw.
Of the wolf in the trap.
Every wound
Is a hardware update.
armor
Is forged
from a bloody estate.
Deep in the marrow, the nanites of war. Writing the saga in visceral lore. My patella is dust, but the piston is strong. I measure the distance between right and wrong. Axillary artery pulse with the heat of the furnace that burns through the bitter defeat. No mercy in fiber, no mercy in cell. Just the physics of impact and the ringing of hell. Max output surge through the central node. Watch the thoracic cage start to explode. Forging the paste from the crust of the scab. Taking the bolt on the medical slab. Pellic girdle lock for the heaviest ring.
on the jagged stone. Cold conducted through the ankle bone. Oxygen levels in the system drop. Movement constant, we never stop. Calibration of the rhythmic stride. No more fuel for the heat inside. Cartilage grinding in the lucky knee. Biological debt is the only plea. Crunch that bone cold. Orders written in the iron mold. Crunch that bone cold. March unending for the brave and bold. Ribcage flexing like a bellows pump. Heart rate thumping like a heavy thump. Frozen beards on the chin plate line. Liquid nitrogen in the hollow spine. Unblinking eyes on the mountain peak. Every word is a system leak. Speech is wasting the calorie count. Mass multiplied by the slope amount. Crunch that bone cold. Orders written in the iron mold. Crunch that bone cold. March unending for the brave and bold. Firing in the dead and toe. Data transfer through the fallen snow. Kinetic energy, the only law. Ice crystals forming in the heavy jaw. Tendon tension at the breaking point. Friction heat in the socket joint. Shield wall geometry 90 degrees. Lungs are burning as the liquids freeze. Heavy footprints in the deep drift. White sensory overload. The loss of sight. Cortex focus on the forward inch. Nerves of iron, we never flinch. Anatomy locked in the warrior code. System failure on the frozen road. Calibrating the trajectory path. Physics driving the winter wrath. Marrow congealing in the femur shaft. Warriors carbs in the killing craft. Binary vision in the blizzard storm. Biological engine no longer warm. Axe blade weight is the only fact. Internal battery, the final pack. Crunch that bone cold. Orders written in the iron mold. Crunch that bone cold. March unending for the brave and bold. Complete. System. Standby. Crunch and snow.
Calculation starts, measuring the valves inside the human parts. Steel meets the neck at 45 degrees. Data input logs the trader on his knees. Calculating gazes, scanning every nerve. Mapping out the point where the sinews swerve. Measured pulse rates, spiking in the chest. Testing the elasticity of the cardiac rest. No mercy in the logic, no pity in the math. Walking down the vector of the frozen path. Systolic pressure rising against the jugular wall. Waiting for the structural integrity to fall.
Pulse rate is high, 143. Nerves sending signals through the lumbar tree. Femur is locked, the patella starts to shake. Calibrating force to see the radius break. Oxygen is low in the bronchial tubes.
Life is just a sequence of hexagons and cubes. Analyzing tension in the deltoid group. Trapped inside the logic of the closing loop. I see the calcium inside the broken tooth. I record the friction as the only truth. Fascia is tightening across the cervical spine. Waiting for the moment that the axis aligns.
0 point, that's a sex, iron will.
Coordinates locked, the mercy count is nil.
Frozen cold, and that's nothing storm.
The algorithm rising in ancient form.
0 point, that's a sex, iron will.
The trader fluid hardens and the air is still. Geometric combat angles cutting through the air. Physics of the warrior, stripping logic bare. Vector force defined through the sternum bone. Reading the decay in the marrow zone. Cartilage resistance mapped upon the grid. Doing to the traitor what the function bid. Scapular alignment locked into the aim. Removing the variables of the family name.
Hydraulic pressure building in the axeman arm. Zero probability of preventing harm. Iron input ready for the final strike. Processing the body on the sharpened spike.
Scanning for the moisture on the orbital rim. Calculating saline as the sight grows dim. Frozen tear tracks forming on the cheek. Finding the conductivity of the traitor weak. Thermal energy dropping in the liquid leak. Reaching the transition that the data seek. 32 degrees, then it starts to drop. Waiting for the molecular movement to stop. Crystalline structures locking in the duct. Binary execution in the final act. The salinity is measured, the freezing point is found. Dropping the corpse to the hardened ground.
System check complete. Logic on the street. No error in the blade. The sacrifice is made. Recalibrate. Terminate. Recalibrate. Execute. Point data set. I will.
Coordinates locked, the mercy count is nil.
Frozen cold, bone and ash. Northern storm.
The algorithm rising an ancient form.
0 point data set. I will.
The traitor fluid hardens and the air is still.
Calibrate the impact. Initiate the harvest. Scanning the skeleton. Processing the map. Scan the target, find the seam. Deconstruct the carbon dream. Shield wall is a firewall. Watch the biosystem fall. Geometries of the axe swing mark. Mark the point of the fatal spark. Pressure on the cervical spine. Calculate the fracture line. Steel is cold as a digital bite. Processing the void tonight. Ribcage opening access code. Heavy metals in the payload. Femur angles 60 degrees. Bring the structure to its knees. No mercy in the algorithm. Just a crushing battle rhythm. Brittle. In the mesh. Iron meets the calcium frame. Every hit erase the name. Extract the marrow, grind the core. We are the physics of war. Snapping femurs like a brittle clog. Data entry in the blood log. Exposed tendons, neural stress. Clean up the systemic mess. Splinter the radius, crack the ulnar, cold vacuum in the trauma. Shoulder socket is a hinge to break. See how much the joint can take. Nerves are firing at overload. Down the thoracic nerve road. Blood is just a cooling fluid. I am the processor, I am the druid. Calibrate the mace rotation and the pile simulation. Crush the pelvis, wipe the drive. Nothing functional left alive. Splinter and ghosts in the update file. Stack the data in the pile. Cartilage fragments to break loud. Wrap the target in an iron shroud. Calibration fail. Iron prevail. Hardware failing, system crash. Turn the biology to ash. Nerve ending, short circuit now. Break the sacral bone and bowel. Flesh is software, bone is hard. Delete the living avatar. Iron meets the calcium frame. Every hit erase the name. Extract the marrow, grind the core. We are the physics of war. Snapping dreamers like a brittle clog. Data entry in the blood log. Exposed tendons, neural stress. Clean up the systemic mess. Crush cartilage under the boot. Pull the data from the root. Scapula shattering heavy impact. Sign the anatomical compact. Jawbone unhinged, speech is null. Gravity inside the skull. Force equals mass times speed. This is all the law we need. Lumbar vertebrae disconnect. System failure, no defect. Binary in the iron edge. Fulfill the mathematical pledge. Clavicle snaps, the circuit breaks. See how much the geometry takes. Final sequence, kill the light. End the processing tonight. Total system wipe. Anatomy dissected. Bones accounted for. Data archive.
System. Check 1 calibration complete. The mercury drops to the absolute heat. Iron and carbon geometry strong. The logic is right, the biology wrong. Frost on the tibia, cold in the marrow. Cut in the circuit, the path is narrow. I step on the ledge where the water is black. I burn the command and I never look back. Dead nerves underneath the plate of the shield. The organic error is starting to yield. Numb extremities hardened by the low. I calculate death in the rhythm of snow. Input the glacier, rewrite the vein. I cut off the signal that transmits the pain. Tendons are cables, the radius is steel. I am the hardware that nothing can feel. Ice-coated veins,
Ice-coated veins.
my systems remain.
My systems remain.
Axe in the binary, bone in the code. Heavy the cargo, long is the road. Shield wall is latched in a perfect array. The human condition is rotting away. The frost is the surge and the ice is the king. I am the weapon, I hear the gears bring. Blackened toes on the edge of the world. Sags of the wolf in the vortex unfurled.
No more synapse, no more dread.
Count the data, count the dead. Optimize power, the Valkyrie flight. I welcome the crush of the endless white. Calibrate radius, lock in the jaw. I am the logic, I am the law. Sub-zero calibration, my femur is cold. I break every story the ancestors told. All noise frozen, the scapula cracks. I am the friction, the atmosphere lacks. Lungs are bellow, the rib of the gate. I am the sum of my biological weight. Delete the limit, deleted the stress. Success is the only result to confess. I see the orbit, the bent in the glares. I climb up the ice of the limitless stairs. Dead nerves, silence, the shriek of the gale. I am the hammer, I am the nail. Phalanges are stiff, the metatarsal is blue. I am the version that always comes through. 0 degrees, the total reset. I am the payment, I am the debt. No fear in the cartilage, no fear in the hip. I tighten the bolt, I tighten the grip.
Numb extremities, numb extremities.
Stormborn energies,
Numb extremities.
blackened toes in the ashes of kings. I am the shadow the northern light brings. Sternum is armor, the spine is a rod. I am the program, I am the god. Ice coating plains in the dark of the night. I am the predator, I am the blight. Patellas lock, the tibia sets. I am the winner of all of the bits. Hardware is sovereign, software is pure. Only the frozen components endure. Dead nerve signal the end of the week. I am the peak of the mountain you seek.
Gods in the wire, ice in the fire.
Ice in the fire!
Ice in the fire.
The frost is the surge and the ice is the king. I am the weapon, I hear the gears ring. Blackened toes on the edge of the world. Flags of the wolf in the vortex unfurled.
No more synapse, no more dread.
Count the data, count the dead. Optimize power, the Valkyrie flight. I welcome the crush of the endless white.
I am the vessel, I am the dark.
Blackened coals, cold flow hard.
This is the way that the monster survive.
Oh. blackened toes, cold flow, hard drive. This is the way that the monsters survive.
Iron plates against the frosted mud, static pulses in the cooling blood. The axe handle freezes to the palm. The marrow data maintains its calm. Shield rim biting into frozen dirt. The nervous system disconnects the hurt. Calcium locks inside the rigid knee. The code is written for the world to see. Vertebrae are stacking one by one. The thermal output of the flesh is done. Cartilage is turning into glass. The shadow geometry across the grass. Ligaments are snapping in the white. The hardware fills inside the winter night. Capillary tubing starts to crack. The system signal isn't coming back. Rye mice on eyelashes frozen tight, closing the lens on the fading light. Blue lips losing all the oxygen flow, merging the body with the sub-zero snow. Slowing heartbeats, ticking in the chest. System shut down, put the bones to rest. Sub-zero flesh on the ancestral stone. The physical law claims the skin and the bone. Synapses firing their final trace. A pixelated map across the face. The banner cloth is stiffening with frost. The user data is entirely lost. Oxygen levels hitting 0 point. The ice is sealing every single joint. Ribs are cages for the quiet lungs, speaking the silence of the ancient tongues. Fascia tightening around the steel. Forget the physics of the way I feel. Encryption key is buried in the jaw, submitting to the thermodynamic law. The femur structure is a hollow tube. The landscape data is a frozen cube. Cortex darkness in the heavy skull. The audio frequency is void and null. Rhyme mice on eyelashes frozen tight, closing the lens on the fading light. Blue lips losing all the oxygen flow, merging the body with the sub-zero snow. Slowing heartbeats, ticking in the chest. System shut down, put the bones to rest. Sub-zero flesh on the ancestral stone. The physical law claims the skin and the bone. Carbon loading in the frozen cell. An empty frame within the winter shell. The radius bone is turning into stone. Calibration failure in the marrow zone. Tendons pulling like a rusted wire. The code is burning like a frozen fire. Metatarsal rhythm in the deep. The ancient sequences for us to keep. Geometry of death is cold and clean. The data stream is leaving the machine. The shoulder blade is resting in the drift. Wait for the tectonic plates to shift. Calibration 0 reached at last. The memory of the living is the past. Architecture of the spine is still following the algorithmic way. Rhyme mice on eyelashes frozen tight, closing the lens on the fading light. Blue lips losing all the oxygen flow, merging the body with the sub-zero snow. Slowing heartbeats, ticking in the chest. System shut down, put the bones to rest. Sub-zero flesh on the ancestral stone. The physical law claims the skin and the bone. System on failure. Sub on zero. Golden narrow. 0 point.
skin. Let the sequence now begin. Measured breath in hollow chest, put the system through the test. Lungs expand and measure time, internal clock in perfect chime. Fingers grip the braided leather, metal binds the part together. Ribs are locking, cage of bone, calibration in the zone. Radius and ulna align, the lethal algorithm sign. Femur braced against the ground, hydraulic pressure, heavy sound. Vertebrae in perfect stack, zero errors, no look back. Oxygen to muscle fiber. Input data, liquid fire. Calculating distance now. Iron crown up on the brow.
Pendulum hacks,
Swings in a line. Geometry of death by design.
rhythmic hammer,
Strikes the shield. Calculated force upon the field.
measured lung expansion start.
To battle no passionate heart.
System ready, load the core.
Processing the sounds of war. Nerves are wiring copper thread. Input output painting red. Tendons stretched like piston rods. Executing will of gods. Marrow dense with ancient code. Heavy is the payload. Shoulders rotate carbon steel. Binary is all I feel. Real sternum shielding in the gear. Processing the end of fear. Synapse firing lightning fast. Built with gears to always last. Scapula and clavicle locked. Sensors triggered. System shocked. Metatarsal digs the dirt. Nodding loop beyond the hurt. No soul inside this frame. Just the logic, just the name. No emotion in the sway. Hear the anvil start to ring. Bone as gear and nerve as wire. Frozen data, black in fire. Calibrate,
Terminate,
calibrating optic nerve, tracing out the killing curve. Physics govern every slash, reduce this target into ash. Shatter ribs provide the data, execution hour later. Cortex running combat scripts, blood is creased, assistant brick. Edit energy released by the metal, by the beast. Thorns are oiled, movement clean. I am the Viking, I am machine. Pelvis rotating, torque is high underneath the frozen sky. Total control, perfect flow, watch the efficiency grow.
pendulum hacks,
Swings in a line, geometry of death by design.
rhythmic hammer,
Strikes the shield, calculated force upon the field.
measured lung expansion start.
A battle no passionate heart.
System ready, load the core.
Processing the sounds of war. Mechanical sword arm.
Nickel hammer strikes,
Measured long expansion. System shut down.
logic in the shattered bone. Scanning the geometry of flesh and stone. The wounded are a glitch inside the system grid. The lethal waste the way the ancient fathers did. I see the fractured ribs, I see the leaking red. Recalibrate the numbers till the pulse is dead. No mercy in the code, no pity in the steel. The physics of the slaughter is the only real. Sever every tendon at the hinge joint. Sharpen every angle to a killing point. Biological waste in the freezing mud. Filter out the errors from the spilling blood. Geometry of iron in a downward arc. Biological inefficacy must cease. Downward spear thrust clean the data field. Snow covered grades for the broken frame. Geometry in a downward geometry for the broken frame. Geometry. Clusters firing in a failing surge. Initiate the final anatomical purge. I measure the distance from the eye to brain. Eliminate the static of the physical pain. Vertebrae alignment is a crooked line. Reset the structure to a flat design. Ligaments are snapping like a copper wire, burning out the synapse in a frozen fire. Absolute efficiency is iron law, extracting the marrow with a steady claw. Cartilage is crushing under heavy boot, pulling out the failure by the bloody root. Unmarked burial mounds in the perfect row, covering the weakness in the blackened snow. Physics of the end is a simple math. Clear the stagnant water from the warrior's path. Geometry of iron in a downward arc. Biological inefficacy must cease. Downward spear thrust clean the battlefield. Snow-covered graves for the broken frame. Geometry, in a downward geometry. For the broken frame. Geometry. No breath left in the lungs, no songs on the tongues, just the weight of the lead, just the count of the dead. Scanning the horizon for a warm signal, none detected in the carbon rubble system optimized. Resource reclaimed, nature is reordered, hardware renamed. Every downward spear thrust is a needed fix. Counting up the bodies in the matrix nicks. Flesh is just a vessel for the data stream. Crush the biological and broken dream. No mourning in the marrow, no grief in the spleen. Keep the frozen battlefield precise and clean. I am the compiler, I am the blade. Watch the biological components fade. Snow-covered graves are the only storage, feeding the earth with the cellular forage. Bone to the ash and the ash to the void. All inhibition material destroyed. Geometry of iron in a downward arc. Biological inefficacy must cease. Downward spear thrust clean the data field. Snow-covered graves for the broken frame. For the broken frame.
Rib, cold logic in the scavenger's crib. Calibration of the iron weight, recalculating the mortal fate. Axe edge meets the cervical spine, executing the lethal design. Calcium crushing the frozen mud, analyzing the viscous blood. Biological units fall to the ice. Survival is the fixed price. Data mining through the open chest, terminating the weakest test. System failure in the kill zone.
Gotta extract from the piled corpses.
Mapped by the Nordic forces.
Stolen furs on the hardware frame.
Survival is the only game.
Scavenge pelts for the cold protocol.
Watching the biology fall. Scanning the geometry of the skull. Processing the void and the null. Femur shattering the heavy tread. Quantifying the ancient dead. No thermal output in the limb. Peripheral vision growing dim. Extraction of the scavenge pelts, fastened by the leather belts. Neural pathways cut and dry. Zero logic in the human cry. Calibration of the kinetics right. Nothing is the weak alike.
Code of the iron and the bone.
System failure in the kill zone.
Data extract from the piled corpses.
Mapped by the Nordic forces.
Stolen furs on the hardware frame.
Survival is the only game.
Scavenge pelts for the cold protocol.
Watching the biology fall. Ligament snap, iron trap, tendon tear, freezing air, vertebrae grid, secrets hid, synapse send, no friend. Harvesting the stolen furs while the howling hunger stirs. Anatomical inventory complete. Trampling the failed biological meat. Interface with the scavenged steel. steel, broken on the evolutionary wheel, unyielding logic in the frozen dark, leaving the predator mark. Platelets frozen in the open wound, to the frequency of war attuned. Fascia stripped for the winter cold, walking the predator road.
Code of the iron and the bone,
System failure in the kill zone,
data extract from the piled corpses,
backed by the Nordic forces.
stolen furs on the hardware frame,
Survival is the only game.
scavenged pelts for the cold protocol.
Watching the biology fall. Calibration set to 0. No soul, no hero. Only the marrow. Only the
My brain, flesh is locking into slate. I sink beneath the binary of weight. The winter sky code overrides the skin. The heavy gravity is settling in. The geometry of every broken rib is written in the frozen granite crib. No fluid motion in the femur head. The signal in the synapse is dead. The calibration of the lumbar spine is fixed along a rigid static line. I cannot bend the stiff metallic knee. I am the pillar that the gods decree. Calcified joints lock the gear. Heavy boulders crush the fear. Petrified wood in the spine. Frozen data on the line. Blood in the marrow, iron in the lung. The hymn of the mountain is sung. The hymn of the mountain is sung. The physics of the frost is absolute. The movement in the tendon now is mute. I map the data on the scapula. The frozen logic of the formula. The graying flesh is binding to the crag. The output of the system starts to lag. Hard disk failure in the frontal lobe. I wear the glacier like a heavy robe. No flex remaining in the carpal bone. The flesh is mimicking the altar stone. The hardware of the veteran is locked. The pathway to the exit is blocked. Calcified joints lock the gear. Heavy boulders crush the fear. Petrified wood in the spine. Frozen data on the line. Stone in the marrow, iron in the lung. The hymn of the mountain is sung. The hymn of the mountain is sung. I process sleep within the clavus bone. I occupy the static danger zone. The calcium is flooding every nerve. The rigid geometry will never swerve. My radius is fusing with the ice. I pay the universal physics price. The graying flesh is turned to mineral. The process is entirely visceral. I count the data in the pelvic girdle. There is no longer any moving hurdle. I am the outcropping up on the hill. My entire anatomy is standing still. Bone meets the courts. Bone meets the courts. The system aborts. The system aborts. The calcium reigns. The calcium reigns. No blood in the veins. No blood in the veins. The gray and flesh is now a solid shell. A frozen version of a biological hell. The petrified wood of the hollow arm. Beyond the reach of any thermal harm. The calcified droids are welded shut inside the granite of the mountain cut. The geometry of death is pure and cold. The ancient ledger has been sided rolled. No synapse spires in the crusty skin. The endless winter is the only wind. My ribs are rapturous for the circling bird. The last command is the only word heard. Hard-coded stone. Cold marrow bone. Cold marrow bone. Calibration complete.
in the dust and chill. Watch the vapors of the dead exhale. Light carve the runes in the frontal lobe. Scar the tissue in the white microbe. Calibration of the bone. Sharpen metal on the fossil stone. Bloodline stain in the frozen snow. Data streams where the red creeks flow. Calcium lattices lock in place. Mapping terror on the subject face. Nerves ignite like a copper wire. Fuel the system with the ancient fire. Ribs are chassis for the lung machine. Keep the geometry of violence clean. Ancestral drivers in the limbic root. Harvest terror as the primary fruit. Let the slaughter now begin. Let the power lock within. Scrape the marrow from the father's skull. Keep the logic of the blade from dull. Input coordinates of necks and veins. Override the mercy in the neural chains. Femur shatters at the pivot point. Pressure builds in the hinge of joint. Calibration of the wrist and grip.
Never.
But let the heavy handle slip. Tendon tension at a maximum load. Watch the synapses of fear corrode. Geometric angles of the striking arc. Leave the geometry of death its mark. Iron density inside the fist. Kill the target who does not exist. Only objects in the line of sight. Execute the algorithm of the fight. Let the slaughter now begin. Let the power lock memory in the acid vat. Shadow movement of the vampire bats. Stone amulets clack against the chest. Put the weakness of the flesh to rest. Logic gates of the Valkyrie flight. Burning horizon in the dead of night. Calculate the weight of falling kings. Hear the frequency the battle sings. System ready for the total strike. Drive the throughput of the iron spike. Kinetic energy in every cell. Ring the hammer on the temple bell. Cartilage crushing under heavy boot. Sever branches from the rotten root. Myelin shapes are glowing in the dark. Light the fuse and watch the internal spark. Exit hardware for the digital war. Count the bodies on the abattoir floor. Calibrate the sight to the raven eye. Watch the tacta ops the enemy guy. Telemus processing the battle noise. Kill the men and reprogram the voice. Card rooms blow on the blade of steel. Make the universe of physics kneel. War is the logic, the only law. Born from the gullet and open jaw. Fracture the ribcage to see the core. We are the drivers of eternal war. Blood is the granary power source. Take the reality, my brutal force. Carve the program in the bold and dash. System stability in the final crash. Hardware primed. Slaughter initialized. Repeat the cycle. Repeat the cycle.
System check 1, 2. System check 1, 2. System check 1, 2. Code is the data, iron is the truth. Code of the marrow, logic of the truth. Frostbit the surface of the dermal layer. The bone frame is rigid like a silent prayer. 0.0 is the thermal state. Logic gate opening to bypass fate. Calcium structures begin to grind. Hardware is frozen but the spark is blind. Synapse igniting in the gray matter core. Reboot the system for the coming war. Sudden chest dumps like a hammer on steel. Marrow is burning and the pressure is real. Steaming breath rising from the blue lip crack. No more retreating and no turning. for the ancient war. Kicking down the door, axe in the hand and a code in the brain, burning through the rain. Blood is the liquid that drowns the pain. Iron in the vein.
Calibrate the geometry of the axe swing arc, ignite the adrenaline to trigger the spark. Adrenaline spikes in the nervous system web. Flow is returning in the ocean ebb. Kinetic energy stored in the tendon coil. Blood in the snowbank starts to boil. Biometric lock on the hilt of the blade. Price of the resurrection have been paid. Scan the horizon for the movement trace. Ice crystal shatter on the scarred up face. Calculating velocity of the coming strike. Nothing is random and nothing is light. War data streaming from the optic nerve. Death is a constant that I will not serve. Fiber optics running through the muscle strand. Reclaiming dominance over the land.
Ice in the marrow, ice in the marrow. Fire in the nerve, fire in the nerve. Death is the master, death is the master that I will not serve.
Connect the vertebrae one by one. Geometry of war, it has begun. Calibration complete, the system is live. Only the spiteful are built to survive. No soul in the cavity, only the pump. Ignore the trauma, feel the thump. Thump, 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 thump. Oh, meets the iron in the crash of sound. Tearing the body from the frozen ground. Fistics of murder in the palm of the hand. Brain in the gospel in the blood on the sand. Sine wave of violence in the auditory path. Counting the data of the warrior wrath. Vertebrae locking like a chambered round. Burning the image of the battle found. Neurons are firing at a light speed rate. Crushing the skulls of the dealing of fate. Ligaments stretched like a tight strum bow. Watching the river of the carnage flow. System optimized for the maximum kill. Driving by logic and an iron will.
Pounding ribs against the frozen floor. Hear the motor roar. Spiked is the fuel for the ancient war. Kicking down the door. Axe in the hand and a code in the brain. Burning through the rain. Blood is the liquid that drowns the pain. Iron in the vein. Sequence complete. Calibration perfect. Spite level infinite. I am the machine of the northern storm. Frozen in function, violent in form.
I look from the ridge at the flickering lights. The marrow is hardened by freezing the nights. Distant chimney smoke drifts in the air. The physics of failure is everywhere there. Weak stone walls are a broken equation. The logic of iron requires invasion. The geometry calculated deep in the skull. The edge of the steel is never made dull. Pampered lords in the halls of the blind. No density left in the meat of the mind. Soft silk garments are clinging to skin. We measure the depth of the fracture within. The data is written in vessels and veins. We calibrate speed for the loss and the gains. The tendons are tight like a bowstring drawn back. The code of the north is the form of attack.
Crush the calibration, break the ribcage. Iron is the physics on the front page. No abstract pity for the weakness of clay.
The geometry of war is the only way. Analyze friction at the point of the strike. The marrow is frozen, the nerve is a spike. The walls are too brittle to handle the load. We upload the carnage, we write the new code. The skeletons rattle like dice in a cup. The data of burning is loading it up. The breath is the beeper, the blood is a leak. The physics of violence belongs to the bleak. I see the white enamel clench in the jaw. The mandible shivers according to law. Gravity pulls at the heavy iron head. The data of living turns into the dead. The pampered lords with their fingers so light. No callus on hands means no will for the fight. Their ribs are like lattice, their femurs are glass. We process the numbers whenever we pass. Calibrate angles for cleaving the spine. The nervous system is starting to whine. Thermal signatures rise from the hearth. The coldest dimension has come to the earth. garments burn fast in the heat. The rhythm is perfect, the rhythm is neat. Synchronize impact to the beat of the drum. The 0-point energy starts to become weak. Stone walls built on sand and on lies. The optics are clouded in civilized eyes. They count up their gold, but the gold has no weight. The binary logic is locked at the gate. Distant chimney smoke smells of the fear. The frequency modulates whenever we're near. The marrow knows sooner than the brain can perceive. The data is static, they cannot leave. Muscles are coiling like springs made of steel. The fracture mechanics are starting to feel. No pity for tendons that snap in the cold. The skeletal structure is bought and is sold.
Crush the calibration, break the ribcage. Iron is the physics on the front page. No abstract pity for the weakness of clay.
The geometry of war is the only way. The geometry of war is the only way. The spine is a ladder we climb to the throne. The geometry proves that the valley is prone. Reset the system and clear all the cache. The lungs are just filters for bone and for ash.
The snow is the logic. The winter is code. The southern foundations prepare to explode. Collapsing timber roofs snap in the dark. The geometry shatters, the vitals are stark. Gravity vectors are pointing straight down into the skull of the king and his crown. The pressure is calculated, physics is true. The white algorithm is coming for you. Each flake is a data point heavy as lead, mapping the nerves in the necks of the dead. We calibrate axis to fracture the spine. The empire is crashing, it falls out of line. The ribs of the palace are grinding on stone. The marrow is frozen inside of the bone. The thermal exhaustion is locking the gates. The hardware of conquest is heavy with hate. Weight of the north and the hardware of bone, crushing the gold and the buried old throne. Shattered stained glass in the vascular flow. Systems are failing beneath all the snow. Heavy the iron and heavy the storm. Fracture the vessel and recode the form.
Yeah. The femur is snapping like branches of pine. The mercury drops at the end of the line. No mercy is pouring, no data for grief. The lungs are expanding for seconds of brief. We measure the distance of blade to the throat. The blood is the ink that the ancestors wrote. Shattered stained glass is the dust in the lung. The bell at the cathedral is finally wrong. The ligaments tear as the raptors descend. The physics of failure is starting to bend. We interface iron with ligament strands, taking the power back into our hands. The scheme is a process of running on fear. The end of his lineage is finally here. Crushed gold crowns on the boost made a hide. There is no encryption for cowards to hide. The tin and the strap and the wreck of the cold. The story is finished and data is old. We work for Machiavelli with fire and eyes. The conqueror reckons the value of price. The synapses misfire. The vision goes black. The northern battalion is starting the track. The vertebrae rattle like dice in the cup. The heat in the chamber is never fixed up.
The marrow is ice. The marrow is ice. The data is cruel. The winter is vice. Calibrate the blade. Calibrate the blade. Falls, the depths are all paid. The shattered stained glass cuts the dermis to shreds. The southern kings die in the silk in their beds. Collapsing timber roofs bury the pride. There is not a cell where a coward can hide. We monitor failure in chambers of stone. We listen to vibrations hitting the bone. The cartilage crushes, the neck is a wire. We feed the old parts, the strain into the fire. The system is purged and the mainframe is cleared. We are the nightmare the weaklings all feared. Your throne is a debris field buried in white. We are the glitch in the middle of night. Weight of the north in the hardware of bone, crushing the gold and the buried old throne. Shattered stained glass in the vascular flow. Systems are failing beneath all the snow. Heavy the iron and heavy the storm. Fracture the vessel and recode the form. The capillaries freeze in the blink of an eye. The stars of the pixels burst into the sky. We calculate ruin with surgical will. The screams of the vanquished are perfectly still. The rebs are the prison, the lungs are the cage. We turn the last leaf on the anatomical.
Oak shield splintered, bone meets grain. Cold iron feeding on the stain. Radius snap, the honor broke. System failure in a single stroke. Left limb dangling, useless weight. Calculate the closing gate. Cartilage grinding, marrow spray. Armor plates are stripped away. Nerve and screaming, circuit short. Accessing the war report. Hardware failing, tendons torn. In the vacuum, wrath is born. Scanning the horizon line. Execute the new design. Ribcage fracture, lungs expand. Blood is flooding out the sand.
Recalibrate the strike.
Geometry of the iron spike.
Axis shifted 9 degrees.
Gravity bringing them to their knees.
Optimize the lethal arc.
Writing data in the dark.
Vector pointed at the throats.
Victory is the only node. Adjusted grip on the cold hilt. Watch the engine structure tilt. Kinetic energy, mass and force. Plotting out the killing course. Scapula shattered, shoulder drop. Flow of data never stop. Latency is dropping low. Ready in the final blow. Shield wall, cracking mud and vial. Processing the deadly file. Physics governs every swing. Hear the broken metal ring. Timer splintered pivot point. Pressure on the weakened joint. For body is a machine of war. Leaking on the valley floor.
Recalibrate the strike.
Geometry of the iron spike.
Axis shifted 9 degrees.
Gravity bringing them to their knees.
Optimize the lethal arc.
Writing data in the dark.
Vector pointed at the throat.
Victory is the only know. Left arm dead, a heavy cable. Standing firm while still unstable. Synapse firing, white hot heat. I will never know defeat. Recalculating, strike delay. Turning night back into day. Biofeedback system check. Booting from the bloody rack. Shoulder sockets grind on grit. Algorithm never quit. Severed nerves begin to fire. Burning on the funeral pyre. Vertical the blade descends where the human logic ends. CC code is written in the vein. Mastering the physical pain. Recalibrated twins connect. Full momentum mode effect. Impact point is mathematical. Strategic strike purely tactical. Skullets crush the data clears. I have that run all my fears. Oxygen is burning fast. I am the machine that will last.
Recalibrate the strike.
Geometry of the iron spike.
Axis shifted 9 degrees.
Gravity bringing them to their knees.
Optimize the lethal arc.
Writing data in the dark.
Vector pointed at the throats.
Victory is the only know. Strike complete. Target deleted. System
the tibia, the friction is cold. Ice grips the marrow, the story is told. Iron on leather, the seams start to crack. No nerve is fire and there is no way back. Ice locked leather boots, welded to shale. Carbon fiber tendons against the gale. Driving sleet cuts like a blunted blade. Physics of standing, a debt to be paid. Calibration of weight on the frozen scree. Scanning the horizon for enemies to see. Lungs are bellows pushing oxygen gas. Hardware is failing in the mountain pass. Rooted heels anchor the base to the core. Hard-coded sentinel guarding the door. Shield wall geometry mapped in the brain. Nerves are disconnected from the signal of pain. The ice is the cold, like the stone is the load. Like the marrow is frozen, the geometry chosen. Rib cage is clamping on the center of mass. Scanning the density of wind in the past. Axons are firing with the static delay. Bone structure locking in the permafrost gray. Immovable stance on a vector of death. Nitrogen vapor on every breath. Shield rim is notched with the data of war. Scanning the grid of the northern stars. Cartilage brittle as shattered glass. Waiting for the shadows of the legions to pass. Synapses misfiring in the cortex. Fault system is crashing to a permanent halt. Heel tone to bedrock, the fusion is complete. Processing the pressure of the mountain sleet. Tendons are cables stretched to the limit. Time is a scalar and I am within it. Femur to granite, encryption of planet. Vertebrae stacking, connection is cracking. Spine is a circuit of oxidized lead. Logic is conquering the fear in the head. Skull is a mainframe of calcified will. Absolute zero is the absolute still. Rooted heels in the ancient mud. Blood are flowing through the frozen blood. Ice locked leather boots never stray. Geometry of war in the valley of grey. Calibrate the stance for the final break. Beyond the limits of the wiki can reach. Static sentinel, the circuits are gold. Hard is a hard drive of legends of old. Shoulder blades locking the shield to the frame. Zero input on the mention and name. Figures are fused to the shaft of the axe. No term are locked, but the system relaxes. Scanning for motion in the whiteout grid. Secretive iron in the subroutine hid. Knees are bolted to the gravity well. Quiet is feminine is heavy as hell. Skin is a lid, everything that he frost. Calculating everything they ancestry lost. Blood is a viscous and darkening oil. Deeply embedded in the knowledge oil. Jaw is clamp shop on a mordant line. Mapping the slope on a curved design. Skeleton architecture holding the peak. Body is strong while the spirit is weak. The ice is the cold. The stone is the load. The marrow is frozen. Geometry chosen. The ice is the cold. The stone is the load. The marrow is frozen. Geometry chosen. Neural pathway M's at the heel. Everything is stone. And everything is steel. Everything is steel. Processing the silence of the unmoving earth. Waiting for the winter to give second birth. Connection lost. Anchored by frost.
I scan the horizon for the structural flaw. There is no mercy in the physical law. I calibrate the edge of the carbon steel. The geometry of pain is the only thing real. I map the coordinates of the femur in the joint. I drive the blade into the weakest point. The skeletal structure is a system to break. I calculate the vibration and the tremor and the quake. Every ligament is a wire in the grid. I find the vulnerability, that's the armor hid. The calcium deposit is the target for the strike. I am the processor, the virus and the spike. Input the data, initialize the slaughter. Frozen blood thickens, it is colder than the water. The phalanx is forming the buffer in the ice. I am the alpha raider paying the price. Scan the formation, identify the nerve. Observe the trajectory and the
Impact curve.
The phalanx collapsed in the frozen mud. A binary leak of the systolic blood. I cut through the marrow, I break through the bone. The laws of the physics sitting on the throne. The hamstrung war horses fall to their knees. I decode the enemy with calibrated splitting of the thoracic cage. I am the ink on the anatomical page. The breccia artery is pulsing in the dark. I hit the connection and I ignite the spark. No brute force needed, just a precise blade work. In the synaptic gaps where the shadows lurk, I target the cartilage, the fascia, the gristle. My movement is clean like the flight of a whistle. The tibia splinters, the radius cracks. I am the ghost leaving 0 tracks. The formation is drifting, the vectors are wrong. I am the algorithm, I am the song.
Light meets the marrow, bone meets the shadow.
Justice we serve,
Light meets the marrow,
still meets the nerve.
bone meets the shadow.
Justice we serve. I estimate the vertebrae, I sever the cord. I am the technician, I am the lord. The cranial vault is a lot to be picked. The physical trauma is precisely inflicted. I calibrate the torque of the swing and the hit into the abyss of the anatomical pit. The enemy formation is a corrupt thick file. I delete the front rank, I delete the style. No wild screaming, just the sound of the tear as the hamstrung will horses collapse in the rear. I am the surgeon and the metal of the ray paid in the currency of the blood that is laid. The marrow is leaking. The logic is broken. The bones of the language that cannot be spoken. The joint is unhinged. The system is failing. The ghost in the iron is silently wailing. The phalanx collapse in the frozen blood. A binary leak of the systolic blood. I cut through the marrow, I break through the bone. The laws of the physics sitting on the throne. The hamstrung war horses fall to their knees. I decode the enemy with calibrated D's. The severed Achilles tendons are snapping. The geometry of death is the map I am mapping. I fix the sternum with a digital force. I stay on the path, I stay on the course. The pelvic girdle is shattered to dust. In the logic of physics replacing our trust. I dismantle the flank, I dismantle the core. I am the hard drive of the eternal war. The tendon is cut and the muscle is dead. I writing impression in rivers of bread. The phalanx is nothing but bone in the ash. I am the system, the error, the crash. I forget the joint for the armor is thin. This is the moment where I always win.
Calibration complete.
System shut down. The phalanxes.
Heavy is the geometry of iron and ice. I pay the tax and I pay the price. My marrow is cold and my system is clean. I am the friction inside the machine. Table is set for the untouched roasted meat. I refuse the comfort of the wooden seat. Hollow stomachs grinding with the teeth below. Measuring the velocity of every blow. Axis of the femur is aligned to the north. Sending the data of the violence forth. Calibration of the patella and the joint. Everything is sharpened to a single point. Rib cage locking on the axial grid. Killing every impulse that the ancestors bid. Metatarsal pressure on the granite and dust. My radius is tempered against liquid and rust. Rejected feasts on the long oak board. My hunger is the voltage that I cannot afford. Phalanges are gripping on the handle of steel. I refuse the cycle of the common wheel. Hollow is the engine running on the rage. Bone is the bar of the biologic cage. Geometry of slaughter in the ancient code. Heavy is the burden of the frozen road. Nerves are the wires for the killing strike. Every bone is sharp into a bloody spike. No meat in the belly, only storm in the chest. The hollow engine never grants a rest. Scapula is aligned with a heavy shield. I calculate the vectors of the killing field. Maxilla is locked with the mandible tight. Processing the input of the coming fight. Rejected feasts are the fuel for the burn. I am the lesson that the cowards must learn. Clavicle vibrating with the frequency of war. I am not the man that I functioned as before. Spinal column straight like a militant spear. I have erased the neurochemical of fear. Ola and the humorous are locked in the form. I am the anchor in the center of the storm. Tendons are the cables under tension and strain. I have muted every feedback of the physical pain. I am the blueprint of the northern death. Counting every cycle of the frozen breath. Hollow is the engine running on the rage. Bone is the bar of the biologic logic cage. Geometry is solder in the ancient code. Heavy is the burden of the frozen road. Nerves are the wires for the killing strike. Every bone is sharpened to a bloody spike. No meat in the belly, only storm in the chest. The hollow engine never grants a rest. Fractures welded by the will, standing in the center while the world is still. No fract on the muscle, only iron and grit. I am the chamber where the fire is lit, bypassing the logic of the stomach and thirst, waiting for the vessel of the system to burst. Calibration complete, I'm the killing hand. I am the winter of the cursed land. Occipital pressure on the base of the brain. I am the master of the physical drain. Metacouple crushing on the lead, the renash. I am the binary of the cut and the gash. Vertebrae aligned to the vertical law. I am the terror of the mechanical jaw. Refusing the ale and the mead and the wine. I am the straight and the unyielding line. Quadriceps firing like a piston of lead. I count the data of the enemy dead. Carpal tunnel focused on the swing of the blade. I am the debt that can never be paid. Orbital socket tracking motion and speed. I am the hunger that the Valkyries feed. Sternum is armored against every shark. I am the mountain in the heavy rock. Hollow is the engine. Hollow is the engine. Hollow is the engine.
Frost-covered parchment spread across the pine, tracing the angle of the northern line. Scrape the charcoal over dead white skin. Let the cold logic of the hunt begin. No political maps in this room of gray, only the data where the shadows lay. Plotted coordinates in the stone cold grip. Blood in the marrow as the needles dip. Ice thickness measured by the pressure point. Grinding the grit in the shoulder joint. Calibrate the tension in the bowstring nerve. Blotting the arc of the killing curve. Frozen river crossings in the logic gate. Army mass shifting with the heavyweight. Solid glass surface for the iron tread. Calculated rhythm of the walking dead.
Ice vectors locked. Coordinates set. Weight of the shield on a frozen net. Calibrate the axe. Fracture
The bone.
mapping the kill from a granite throw.
Synapse firing in the general skull. Planning the strike while the moon is dull. Hard-coded fury in the ligament strand. Measuring density across the land. Thoracic cavity shielded by the oak. Waiting for the binary of fire and smoke. Ice is the hardware, boots are the code. In putting violence on the northern road.
Femur and fibula align for the shock. Crushing the entry like a shattered rock. Carotid flow at a killing rate. Opening up the northern gate. Kinetic energy in the forearm meet. Recording the data of the total defeat. Trajectory calculated, sternum will break. No one is breathing for the kingdom's sake. Ice vectors locked. Coordinates set. Weight of the shield on a frozen net. Calibrate
The axe.
fracture
The bone.
mapping the kill from a granite throne.
Strategic silence in the command node. Waiting for the ice to accept the load. Scanning the surface for the fracture line. Everything moving to a cold design. No compassion in the binary strike. sharpening the edge of the iron spike. Phalanges clenching on the wooden shaft, perfecting the geometry of the killing craft. 1 inch thicker than the standard depth, stealing the rhythm of the enemy breath.
Input the command to the fingertip. Let the structures of the city slip. Fracture the membrane, pierce the skin. Now the conquering vectors win. Calibrated, murdering the thigh and hip. Hear the sound of the banner swift. Data points, healing on the frozen lake. Every single resource is ours to take.
Ice vectors locked.
Locked.
Coordinates set.
Set.
Weight of the shield on a frozen net. Calibrate.
The axe.
Fracture.
The bone.
Ball mapping.
The kill from a granite throne. Coordinates archived. System shut down. Bone and iron. Cold ground.
Bone to the logic, the marrow is cold. Skin is the parchment, the ledger is old. Calibrate sinew, the tendon is tight. Geometric angles, the darkness is white. Feet on the permafrost, carbon and grit. Logic of I in the binary bit. Axe blade is hard where the impact is fact. Processing violence, the frozen is cracked. Hardware is hard and the skull is the shell. Executing data through heaven and hell. Nerve-ending fire and the circuitry bleeds. Planting the iron in frozen black seeds. Skeleton framework, the strut and the beam. Breaking the code of this glacier-born dream. Pressure is rising, the gauges in red. Counting the pulses of warriors dead.
Every cage is pulsing, the frequency climbs. Calculating terror from ancient of times. My lungs are the bellows, the diaphragm strain. System is flushing the ice from the veins. Shatter the cipher, the geometry breaks. Feel the vibration, the rib cage shakes. Sanction the data, the code in the storm. Recalibrate flesh in a warrior form. Shatter the cipher, the geometry falls. System is ringing in Valhalla Calls. Boom is the frequency 0 and 1. War is the logic, the frost is undone. Dun, 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 ba, 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 ba.
Cartilage crunching, the impact is pure. An enemy hardened, the vitals endure. Neck muscle stiffen, embracing the load. Reading the rhythm of warrior code. Fist of the surface, the density leaks. Static is screaming through shattered ice spikes. Phonetic extraction of literal sound. Anchoring weight in the mechanical ground. Joints of the hinges, the fluid is oil. You're watching the data in cauldrons that boil. Spine is the antenna, receiving the surge. Biological warfare, the ancestral purge. Input the hatred, the output is steel. Crushing the physics under the heel. Firmer is ancient, the update is pain. Flashing the memory inside of the brain.
My throat is a cannon, the resonance tears. Shredding the data of 1,000 cold years. Grinding the molars, the enema will crack. There is no reboot, no turning it back. The light is a mirror, the mirror is dead. I am the error, the system has bred. Tear out the sinew, the wiring is bare. Frequency burning the freezing air. Shatter the cipher, the geometry breaks. Feed the vibration, the rib cage shakes. Ancient the data, the code in the storm. Recalibrate flesh in a warrior form. Shatter the cipher, the geometry falls. System is ringing in Valhalla Calls. Boom is the frequency 0 and 1. War is the logic, the frost is undone. Dun, 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 dun. Calibration complete. Anatomy set. The marrow is fire.
the geometry is cold. Systematic stripping of the dead and the old. I walk the hall where the physics apply. Nothing but the marrow with the men who die. Blood-soaked velvet ripped from the spine. Calibration fixed on the death design. Torn tapestries hanging like shredded skin. I find the code of the failure within. I need a cloth for the polished steel blades. Royalty is garbage in the northern shade. Discarded jewels in the black and mud. Cold binary logic in the flow of the blood. I strip the ribs and I leave them clean. Merge in the warrior and the killing machine. No mercy in the flesh, just the data of pain. No mercy in the skull, just the gray in the brain.
Take the velvet, white the steel.
Only the pressure of the iron is real.
Crack the sternum, break the gate.
Stat-tat-tatter for the ravens on a dirty plate.
Tear the silk and clean the gore.
Leave the kings on the floor, the room floor. Calibrate the blow, calibrate the kill. Bending the world to the conqueror will.
Rags for the gold. Rags for the gold.
Tendons are snapping like a broken wire. I am the friction in the center of the fire. Strip the dead duke of his fine red cloak. History is nothing but the pixel of smoke. Poly steel shining in the flicker of the torch. Victory is data on the palace porch. Geometry is slaughter in the crowned head. Counting all the ribs of the royalist dead. Blood-soaked velvet makes the best damn brag. I stuff the empty corpse in a leather bag. Physics of the axe breaking down the wall. Watch the whole dynasty begin to fall.
Take the velvet, white the steel.
Only the pressure of the iron is real.
Crack the sternum, break the gate.
Stat-tat-tatter for the ravens on a dirty plate.
Tear the silk and clean the gore.
Leave the kings all left on the room floor. Calibrate the blow, calibrate the kill. Bending the world to the conqueror will. Nerves are cold. Bones are sold. System failure. Ancient mold. I breathe my pain. I start the rain. Blood is wet. Gun dead is pain. I reach the marrow in the deepest bone. I set the shadow on the frozen throne. Discarded jewels in the mud and the silt. I wash the marrow from the heavy hilt. Polished steel blades cut the air in half. I wreck the ending with the bloody staff. Geometry of battle is a perfect square. Smell the burnt circuits in the frozen air. Nerves are connected to the heavy strike. Feeding the dead to the iron pike. Torn tapestries wipe the sweat from my face. I am the glitch in the royal race. Calibration knocked on the target side. I am the darkness in the final light.
Take the velvet, white the steel.
Only the pressure of the iron is real.
Crack the sternum, break the gate.
Stat-tat-tatter for the ravens on a dirty plate.
Tear the silk
arrow, the system is cold. The logic of slaughter is starting to hold. Calculating the friction of steel against bone. The harvest of nerves on a mountain, the stone. Calibration of grip on the ash timber shaft. We master the math, we master the craft. Synchronized lungs, the oxygen burns. The wheel of the physics relentlessly turns. Each rib is a bracket, each tendon a wire. Cold in the blood and there is no fire. Armor is data, the shield is a code. Heavy the march on the frozen road.
We are the cold, we are the storm. We are the cold, we are the storm.
Avalanche rolls in the throat of the deep. The promises made of the promises we keep. Darkening skies as the horde moves as one. We are the end of the light and the sun. No more the flesh, we are weather and wake. The geometry, some of a glacier state. Frozen in rank, the masses define. The laws of the pressure are finally aligned. Scanning the valley, the senses are eyes. Beneath the cold ceiling of carbon gray skies. Velocity vectors, the impact is near. We do not have vessels for failure or fear. Vertebrae locking, the column is stiff. Pushing the pressure right over the cliff. Joint in the socket, the pivot is precise. Converting the pulse into shards of the ice. Network of sinew, the cables are taut. This is the lesson, the permafrost taught. Biology feeling the hardware is set. We are the flurry, the world will not forget. 12,000 lungs, breathing at once. The winter is ending, the waiting for months. Synchronized step, making the crack. The spine of the planet is starting to snap. We are not men, we are the front. The blunt force trauma, the lethal hunt. Cracking the ground with the weight of the war. We are the storm that you waited for. Kneecap and thigh bone, the piston machine. The coldest dimension that history has seen. Fiber and filament processing pain. The liquid is solid inside of the vein. No individual, only the grid. Doing the damage the ancestors did. Physics surviving the velocity map. Total destruction along of the path. Skull is a helmet, the jaw was a clamp. Moving the mass through the frozen and damned. Data of impact, the total is red. We are the living who function is dead. Avalanche rolls in the throat of the deep. The promises made are the promises we keep. Darkening skies as the horde moves as one. We are the end of the light and the sun. No more the flesh, we are weather and wake. The geometry, some of a glacier state. Frozen in rank, the masses define. The laws of the pressure are finally aligned. Terminal beach at the end of the stride. There is no place for the wake to hide. Miranding, firing, the circuitry glows. This is the way that the cataclysm goes. Input the hatred, the upward is steel. Crushing the earth with the weight of the heel. Marrow to metal, the inner fist locks. We are the movement of mountains and rocks. Calibration complete, the war is a fact. The pact of the ice is a lethal contract. Goes in the formation, the skeleton key. We are the climb that you feared we would be. Avalanche rolls in the throat of the deep. The promises made are the promises we keep. Darkening skies as the horde moves as one. We are the end of the light and the sun. No more the flesh, we are weather and wake. The geometry, some of a glacier state. Frozen in rank, the masses define. The laws of the